there. Welcome. Today's lesson is pressing into the handstand. Alright, but actually the concepts and the principles that I will be sharing with you could be applied as well in other elements which require lightness, arm balancing, inversions, and even the jumps. Right? But we will be focusing more on the handstand press. Alright, aside from the structural, the breath pattern, the movement, I will also be giving you some tips on how you could apply the same principle given your own structural nature, because every one of us is different. Alright, this lesson is inspired by how I see differences in my classes with my students. Alright, let's go straight to the lesson. Alright, structure number one. Yeah, your spine is more of an extended curve. So back bending for you is easy to practice. So if you are more open in the fronts of the body, definitely you will utilize that strength. So you will be using the upper part of your chest, across the collarbones to create more of that foundation. So this will become an additional support, the anchor of your structure. All right. So for you to be able to maximize the strength of the upper back, of the fronts of the chest, there will be some adjustment in the arms. All right. If you're more of a back bend type of practitioner, meaning your spine is more of like this, so the arm bones, or the whole of your arms from the origin would have to gently, but don't overdo this, like a gentle external spiraling action. Alright, so if you are practicing on the mat, the eye of the elbow will point towards the opposite corner of the mat. But don't overdo it. It's more of like, actually, it's like just a neutral turn, but don't overdo it. So it's more of like the eye of the elbow is slightly open towards the diagonal, alright, or cross, like this. Alright, so that way you will be able to fit this through as you enter the position, because this will form part of your foundation. Alright. Now, but the hips, the same. Alright, I posted quite a few tutorials about how to position the hips. You may want to take a look at them so you can learn this lesson progressively. But I will be talking about them as well. Alright, in here, important. Alright, the hips and the low back, they should close. Alright, so if you're lacking the flexibility of your hips and hamstrings, bend your knees. Alright, if for example bending the knees gets a little bit heavy here, you may want to open the legs a bit wider, so that way it's lighter on the lumbar spine, but the rest of it would be the same. Alright, if you're more of a back bendy, arm bones turn out a bit. Alright, if you are lacking the flexibility, either bend the knees under your hips or bend your knees outside the line of your hips, but not too wide. Right? Good. So, how do you approach this one? Alright, as you press, you're gonna push away, and as you push away, there's a slight turning of the arm bones externally, and you're gonna send your upper chest through. So in here, definitely, because your spine is more open in an extension, your throat will naturally open forward. Alright, and that will give you more stability as you enter the position. Alright, so the breath is breathing in, exhale. Alright, notice the hips. As I breathe through it, alright, you don't want to be separating the legs, the hips, and the low back. You have to keep them together. As you shift forward, inhale, exhale. This is like the preparation. Like just feeling the movement. Alright, and then here, for example, you feel that I needed to adjust my hands slightly forward. You may, especially if your low back is quite open. You may adjust your weight forward a bit by adjusting the hands, right? Because you need to suit the length of your spine, but not to the point that you are overdoing it and you feel heavy. So find your own measurement and distance depending on the sensation of the spine. You should feel light as you shift forward, like that. All right. Now, if you got that sorted, Now the next is, when do we actually time, or when do we actually do the pressing, depending on the breath, and of course the timing, because the timing is really very important, because the movement, the body and the breath would have to go together. All right, so when you shift forward, you're gonna inhale, and at the top of that inhalation, that's why you're gonna press. All right, to learn this lighter, you might want to practice or do a light retention at the top of the inhale, like you want to clip the lightness of the breath, and then from there you push or press right away. All right, at the top of the inhalation. Good. And then when you feel that your hips suspend up in the air, you can just exhale, but don't exhale suddenly, otherwise your body will feel heavy. Just to allow the breath to flow. All right, let's do that. Exhale, inhale. The top of it, your feet rise off the ground. All right, let me angle the side. All right. You may open the feet wider, bend the knees if you're lacking the flexibility. All right, external a bit, but don't overdo it, just a light, so you can fit the collarbones through. Inhaling. At the top of it, lift. Good. And release. Alright, so that's the first structure. Alright, you are more of this nature. The fronts of the body is up. Now, there are some of you who might not be as open in the fronts. Your buoyancy or your strength might be right up here. I started this actually. I'm more of like this. Alright, so that's your strength, definitely. Because especially for people whose forward folding action is easy to practice. All right, if you're more of like this, and then you can really fold deep. Then we have to utilize your strength, and the strength is lying up here, between the shoulder blades and across the whole of your upper back region. All right. So the breath, the movement, the positioning of the hips, the same. Right, so it's that. All right. Since you're more open in the backs, definitely you will be using the upper back strength. So you are sending the breath. I've discussed this before, but let me give you more tips on how you could utilize the upper back strength. So you're going to be sending the breath actually right here, between the shoulder blades, and higher up the trapezius or the upper back. All right, and the arm bones would have to actually lightly turn inward. Why? Because you're gonna bring this part of your upper back higher up. Because if you do this, for example, and then you're not too open in the front, you will actually have more difficulty because the shoulders won't be able to open as much. Because if you're more like that, the fronts of the shoulders normally they're tighter. If you are more open in the fronts of the shoulder, they are more open. So really depending on the structure of your spine, really, then everything in the Hatha Yoga method is about the spine depth, of course. All right. So if you're more of a flexion element or nature, it's more of your arm bones, going more towards a neutral plane. All right. Still, the eye of the elbow is slightly open. However, you're gonna move the upper back gently forward, like the head of the arm bones move closer to the ear, something like this. All right. For us, the first structure is more of like that. Now the second structure now is more of like this, like you're hanging. All right. Similar to the element called Handstand. All right. If you're more open in the fronts, your structure is more of your Padangusthasana. Alright, so one is like this, the other one is like that. Alright, so if you're more the flexion element, alright, So that's the only difference actually, and of course, where you send the buoyancy of the backs of the body. Alright, let's treat this one as if the hamstrings are not flexible, the hips are not flexible. So open your feet a little bit wider. Alright, and here. Alright, this is actually more difficult because you will really have to use the core to be able to press slightly. Alright, and you will not be able to open the throat up as much. So just lift the root of the mouth up like this. Yeah. Whereas in the first, you're more like that. Yeah. If you're more of a rounded person, lift the root of the mouth up towards the backs of the neck and up to the base of the skull. Yeah. So you might just be gazing right up between the eyebrows so you can just see them. Yeah. Same breath. Exhale. Inhale. See that? Alright. Let me take my shirt off so you can see. Right. Exhale, inhaling. Good. Whereas the first structure is this. Exhale, inhale. The difference? Yeah. If you're more of a rounded person, your hands may go a little bit closer to your feet. Yeah? Exhale, inhale, exhale. Alright. Same, the increase at the top of that inhalation. Yeah? Inhale, at the top, you're rising your feet up in the air. Alright. To compare, yeah, first structure, like you're doing a gentle upper back extension. Inhale, shift. At the top, you are pressing. Alright. Second structure. Exhale, inhale, shift, and then down. Alright, so generally, that's how I see my students in classes. Some of them are more like this, some of them are more like that. Alright, but the hips and how you breathe through it and how you move through the element, they remain the same, especially here. If you're lacking the flexibility of your hamstrings, bend your knees. If this gets a little bit heavy in the low back, open your feet wider. Alright. Good. Now, when you're able to practice your strength and then become efficient and strong and confident with it, try to do the opposite or the reverse. Alright, and applying the same principle. Right, the same. Now when you become very efficient with both techniques, so you will now be able to suit your practice based on the elements that you tackle in general. For example, me, if my element for a particular practice will be, for example, most of it will be back bending, so I will use this pattern. Yeah, if, for example, I would be working on flexion and deep hip openers, I will be using this pattern. So the beauty of all this is that we're able to suit our practice based on the requirements of the elements needed in a particular situation. Alright, yeah, so I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.